Hello, this is Noreen from Joya Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, please click the subscribe and the little bell, and you'll be notified when my next video posts. So, anyway, I wanted to show you Christmas Scottie. Now, Christmas Scottie comes with a punch. So here's a punch right here, and I just wanted to show you the two cards that I make. One I'll tell you about, and one we're going to make, so don't go away. So I do want to show you before we get into the cards what the stamp does. So the first thing I do is I stamp everything out, and everything stamps well except for the doggies. Anything, and some of the bows are a little light too. And if you're going to stamp these dogs dark, you're going to have to use your Stamparatus. No way around it. So everything else is pretty good. So, but I did want to show you how things are put together. So there's these little pieces right here. That's the gift. So the two little equal signs, or the equal sign, the little thing here makes the gift. And then the lines are like the collars that go with the little bows. So you got a little one and a big one. And then the solid bow that goes with the punch, and then a partial bow. So that's one of them. And then if you go to the punch itself, now here's the dog punched out, and he only goes with one of the stamps. He only goes with this one. You can't like turn it over and do the other one. He's just positioned differently. And there's that solid bow that goes with. Now you can, if you use like DS paper, or this is this stamp right here, that I've stamped in Garden Green, and I punched him going the opposite way, and I have him looking the different way. So, and you can put like an eyeball there. I tried doing that. I thought I looked a little silly. I didn't particularly care for it, but you can do it. So here's regular, and here's going the opposite direction. And then while we're at it, since you need to use the Stamparatus to make the dog really dark, I want you to take a piece of cardstock, white cardstock, and this just happens to be like 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And I want you to punch out the Scottie. So take your punch and punch them out and make a template, because we're going to be using this when we're making the cards, and you'll see why. So as far as the stamp set, like I said, other than having to use the Stamparatus, it's a really cute set, but you have to have a Stamparatus. So let's go ahead and show you the first card. So I did something different. I did not make a 4 1/2 by 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card. This is actually an A6 card. I wanted to make something bigger. In fact, I'm going to do a video on all the different card sizes here coming up. But this is a 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. And in order to make an A6 card, you need to have a piece of paper that is 9 inches by 6 inches. And you're going to score at 4 1/2. And then that's where you get your card. So, and the reason why we don't use this size a lot is because a regular sheet of paper, you cut it in half, and it's a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So you get 2 card bases with 1 sheet of paper. This way you're gonna get 1 card. So that's why everybody uses that size. But I wanted to make a bigger card, so that's what I did here. Now this is a real red card base, and then I use basic black. Now the borders are going to be different too. So my border in black is 6 1/8 by 4 3/8, and that's basic black. And then this paper here is Celebrate Everything. Now Celebrate Everything is a host gift, and you can get it. There is a way to get it in this crazy good paper. There are 48 sheets, and it is totally awesome. You got some Halloween, you got Christmas, you got some basic stuff, you've got 4th of July and New Year's. I mean, just everything is in this paper, and I've used it a lot, so it's worth getting. So how do you get this paper? There is a way to do it, and you can do it with me even, and that is if you want to, or if you have a group of people that like making cards, and maybe even case my cards and do it at home, and that's what these YouTube channels are for. But what you can do is you can email me My email is noreen@joyofcards.com. It's in the description of the video. In fact, everything is in the description of my video. All the measurements for all my cards, all the supplies I use, everything. Like I'm an Amazon affiliate, so everything that you see that's not Stampin' Up is in the link. And it does help me pay for, doing card videos. I get a little kickback from Amazon. It's like a quarter, but I'll take it basically. So what you can do is you can just email me, say, hey, we're interested in doing our own little thing, having like a online party, and you get a couple of friends and you place some orders, and I'll be giving you a host code. So you're going to be your own host without actually physically going to a party, and you put some orders together, and if you do $150 in sales, you get $15 in credit, and it can go toward this. You can only get this if you host a party. But celebrating everything is a pretty awesome set. So that's what that paper is. Now, the circles I used are layering circles. So I used the 2 largest layering circles, and then I just punched out my doggy. Well, I stamped them first, and I punched them out in the bow, and that's a real red rhinestone. And then on the inside, I did celebrate everything again, 4 1/4 by 6, and real red here is 4 1/2 by 3 1/2, and the white is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. But all the dimensions are in the description of my video. And also, I give away the demo card. If you are a first-time subscriber, put in the comments, I would like to win the demo card, and put your email address. I don't know how many times I have to say this, ladies. Put in your email address. I can't talk to you without it. I need your mailing address, so I need to send you the card. So that's how you do the first one. Now let's make the second one. Here's a second card, and I do want to point out that I made the templates for the little sweaters here, and I'll show you how to make the other one, but I do have to show you a little technique for doing that. But we're going to do the Slimline card. So it's a 9 by 8, so 8 by 9, and you're going to score it at 4. And let's go ahead and start with the inside here. And the inside is basic black and white, and the black is 875 by 375, just to give it a little border. And I'll go ahead and put it right here in the middle. And then the white, I always stamp before I actually put it in the card, because if I make a mistake on this, then I don't have to rip it off my card. So let's go ahead and stamp the inside. May your days be furry and bright is right there. And I was like, it's so cute, because I love dogs. I'm infatuated with dogs. It's like, may your days be furry and with dogs. So anyway, so there's the sentiment. Now we're going to make the little presents there, and that's the equal sign plus this one equals the present. So I'm going to take some real red and I'll start with the middle. It's always good to start in the middle here. And I'll put one there, and I'll put one right here, and I'll put one right here. And then you're going to take the other one. So it's these 2 stamps right there, and I'm going to use Garden Green, which is my favorite for Christmas green. And I'm going to put one there in the middle. It's not as hard to line up as you would think. It's pretty decent. So that's how you do the stamping. So I went ahead and snailed that up, and we're going to put it in on the inside, just in the middle. And that's how you do the inside. And now let's go to the front. So now you're going to grab a piece of black, and it's going to be 8 7/8 by 3 7/8, and a piece of white, 8.75 by 3.75. But we're not going to put it together first. We're going to put this black to the side, because we're going to grab a piece of Gingham Cottage. And here's Gingham Cottage, and it's all these Gingham colors here. They're really pretty. So this is another big pack. There are 48 sheets in here too, so this is really nice. So get out a piece of that, and you're going to cut this 8.75 by 1 1/2, and we need to put this on first, because you need to know where your puppies are. Now I did this kind of backwards because I was creating the card, and it's like, luckily I happened to stamp the doggies high enough that I could get this on. So anyway, I got lucky. So I'm going to put this right here so we know where to put the puppies. Now we need to put on the ribbon, and I use the Real Red and Garden Green combo pack, even though my red ribbon's wrapped around it. That's what that is. And I grabbed a piece that's a little longer than the card, so like 11 inches. I do like to snail it down a little bit, so at least it gets a little bit of tack on the card itself. And then I'll take this and I'm going to put some tape on the edges and put that ribbon right above where that DS paper stops, and wrap it around and wrap it around just like so. Now you're going to grab two of the puppies, and I'm going to grab the bottom two here, so these two, and I'm going to place them right on the paper on my Stamparatus, and I'm going to put him, the middle one, in the middle, and just kind of eyeball it. I always eyeball it. I think my eyeballing looks better than my measuring, so I'm going to put that one there. And then on another plate that we'll do in a minute, we'll do the third puppy, but not right now. And I got them all good. Just make sure they're kind of at the same level. Okay, and then close it, then open it up. I'm going to grab my memento, and I usually use my little Stampin' Spots, but these stamps are pretty big, and I don't have to go around anything to do them. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them on like that and stamp it out. And see, even with the Stamparatus the first time, it's not good enough. It's not dark enough. So go ahead and do it again. Okay, I did it a third time and it looks really good. So now let's do the third puppy. So for the third puppy, what I need to do is I need to take this off and turn it and go the other way and do them the other direction, or however you want, whichever direction you want, but you have to do it from another side here. And I'll line that up. Make sure I don't break my magnets. I'm good at that. I have broken every single magnet. This is like my fourth magnet. It doesn't matter if you have one of these or a Moxie or whatever. Yeah, I'll break that magnet. All right, so I'm gonna take my doggy and I'm gonna line him up here and just kind of eyeball it. Of course, I got a little black ink on there. There must be something on my hand, so I'm gonna move him over, cover up my little oopsies. Okay, I'm gonna go on the top here, take my memento. Now I gotta swish this over and put my box under there so I have something to push on. Oh, my Alexa's going up. I'm not talking to you, Alexa. And do another one. She's still talking to me. Alexa, be quiet. And do it a second time. And that's good enough. Now I want you to do something strange. I want you to take a piece of copy paper. And I just use scratch paper from the office. And I'm going to push on that last stamp we did that was by himself. And then I'm also going to push on that doggy in the middle. And there's a reason for it. I'm making a template to make his little sweater. And it doesn't matter if it's good or not, just the template on it on scratch paper. And then I want you to grab a piece of basic white, and I want you to stamp in the Gingham little stamp here, this one, which is this stamp here in real red. And just like this. And I want you to make a couple of them. And I'm going to have to grab a third and put that to the side and grab a third one here. Okay, so you make 3 of these. Before we punch out his little sweater, I did want to show you something really quick. Now on this card, I have a punched out doggy with the bow. And I told you earlier that you need to make one of these little templates. And what that is for is like when you are getting your stamp ready to put on the paper, what you do is you put that template over the top, and then you put your doggy here and you line them up in the hole as best as you can. And then you take the bow and you put it in that template as well. and then you close it up without a stamp, okay? And then you pull it up. And what this is doing is when you go to punch this doggy out, he's going to punch perfectly in here. So I'm going to put this on like that, and I'm going to stamp this. So I'm going to stamp the doggy. Okay, and I'm going to do them a couple of times, might as well. Now I could go ahead and do the bow and red or whatever like I did before. I'm just doing this to just show you real quick. And if I were going to do it, I would use my Stampin' Spots. And I would get in there in all the little nooks and crannies without getting my plate all dirty. But you see how I stamped them out like that. So now when I go and punch, and if you got too much paper on the bottom, just cut that off. And you take your punch, and he lines up perfectly just like that. So that's why I told you to make a template. But on this particular card, we didn't punch out the dog. So see, just like that. See, just like that. So that's how you line up your doggy for the punch. Now let's get back to the sweaters. So the sweater for this guy is really easy. All you have to do is punch out the dog. Just make sure the dog's in the stamped part. You can throw away the rest. Take your little punched part and get the collar, which is right here. And I'm using garden green for his collar. I'm going to stamp the collar right here. Okay. And if you need to fill it in a little bit, just take your Stampin' Right or Stampin' Blend and just color it in a little bit. No one will know. And now we're going to cut the sweater. So I got my scissors here, and I'm going to cut just above the green line. So I basically cut his little head off. And then I'm going to just kind of wing it here. I'm going to take a little bit off that front paw, and right around the back of the belly, I'm going to curve it just like that. And guess what? He's got a cute little sweater. Isn't that cool? So we're going to take that copy paper that we just went against the stamp that we had on the plate here. So we've got the sitting doggy and this doggy. So I'm going to go ahead and make little templates that I'm going to transfer onto this. We're going to trace it and cut it out. So I'm going to take the sitting doggy, and I'm going to cut right above his collar. So I'm cutting his head off. And then for the sweater, I want to go around the back and cut it off about here, and I'll curve it. Okay, so I've got the two front paws and his back, and then I'm going to cut part of the paws off, and then I'm going to go around the chest like that. So I've made that little template, and I'm going to take that tape that sticks to nothing, the teal Tombow tape here. It's my masking tape. It's what I like about it because it doesn't stick. And I'm going to put it right here. And we could have used this twice, I suppose. And then I'm going to make a little template for his sweater. So I'm just going to cut along the lines here. And cut along here. I just have to remember where he ends and cut like that, and then I can take the template off. Okay, and he should fit on just like that. Now before I put him on, I do have to stamp that little color again. So grab your stamping pad, because you have to use a stamping pad with these clear stamps, and get that green out again. And before you stamp your little collar, measure it up there, make sure you're stamping the right end there, and just put on his little collar. You can kind of double stamp it if you miss, just like that. And you can also take your little Stampin' Right or Stampin' Blend or whatever you got and fill in if you missed it. So I'm just filling it in, and then I'm going to put it on the puppy. I snailed that up, and then I'm just going to give him his little sweater just like that. And now I need to do the third puppy. So here's the third puppy, and I'm going to once again cut off his little head. Sorry, puppy. And then I'm going to go around his chest here, and I'm going to cut off the paw, part of the paw. Might as well go straight across. And then from before his little legs right here, I'm going to make a little curve. Go up like that. And then do the back. Okay. And then I'm going to take my snail again and put it on here. Oh, look, I didn't have to make a second one, so I could save that for later. I could just cut this piece off and save that. And then I'm going to fussy cut around my template. And just like the other little doggy, I need to put his little collar on. Make sure you're stamping the right side there. And just put some garden green and just make his little collar. And I can even kind of stamp that again if I wanted a little wider, just like that. So I snailed the back of his little sweater here and I put it on. And look, he's got sweaters. Look at that, so cute. Now we're going to stamp the little snowflakes. So I'm going to grab the little snowflake from the stamp set right there. And we've got some balmy blue. And I'm going to strategically stamp these. Now I've got some scratch paper under here so I can stamp off. Make sure you turn your stamp around too. You don't want to be doing all the same direction. And you can even grab another piece of scratch paper if you need to get close on the bottom here. So like if I wanted to put something really close to that ribbon without hitting the ribbon, I can go ahead and do this just like that and protect it. And put one here and just put a bunch of snowflakes on. Let's jump over to the sentiment tag, and the sentiment tag is from Holly Berries. It's also in the new mini catalog, and I cut it out in basic white. I'm stamping in real red the Merry Christmas from the set, which is awesome. Now the fun part, we get to assemble it, so I'm going to go ahead and just snail it a bunch of times. And oops, we forgot our basic black. Woo! Remember we had the basic black there. And all the dimensions, don't forget, is in the description of my video. Everything I've used, so you don't have to frantically write things down. And I give away the demo card. First time subscriber, like, subscribe, and put a comment with your email address in it so I can contact you. Okay, Merry Christmas. We're going to put some dimensionals here, 3 of them. So I put the dimensionals on the back. I'm just going to put it in the middle. And then I'm going to do a few things here. I'm going to take my real red rhinestones and I'm going to put 3 jewels on each side, just like that. And now I'm going to take my red and green adhesive back pearls, and there's these little blue ones here. So I'm going to take those. I'm just going to put them on a few of the snowflakes. I think like the big ones right there in the middle. And that is the card. So if you like it, like, subscribe, get a free demo card. I don't keep these cards. I'd have like 5 million cards. So that will do it for me. Thanks. Bye.